we're here.
So nice to finally meet you.
Yeah,
in
likewise.
person.
It's cool to see, it's cool, and this is kind of with everybody, but it's cool to see somebody that you've watched on TV a lot, and then you see them in real life.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get more used to it, but seeing someone on your TV screen and then actually seeing them in person is weird.
Yeah.
And
even my friends say, like, when they're hearing demos of songs that I might put out, whatever, and they're like, it's weird to hear you on the stereo and then to watch you like sitting right next to me, like it's just it's kind of surreal.
Yeah, and then these people won't even get it because they're still looking at you through a screen.
Yeah. Hi guys.
But she's real. I promise she's real. Okay, couple questions.
Yeah.
I love it so much, can't think of the name of it. I'll think of the name of like the style of questions. This is hypotheticals.
Okay, yes.
I love hypotheticals. So, if you could be the best in the world at one instrument, what instrument would you pick?
Guitar.
Guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I think guitar is very versatile. You could do a lot with it. I think it's a staple too.
Totally.
I know I play piano, but I wish that I started with guitar or
Really?
played guitar. Yeah, I think it's also, if I was talking personally, like for my style, I think a lot of the songs I would want to make and the songs I like to sing just vibe really well. You're right,
Yeah.
your last night.
Yeah.
I think they just go really well with guitar, and I think that it's very impressive too when someone could just go ham on any electric, acoustic, all that.
And especially when you're the greatest in the world.
Yeah,
Imagine you being the greatest guitar player in the world.
Yeah, it's like the coolest thing.
You.
Yeah. I was thinking about it in the shower
Shredding.
this morning, literally.
Were you really?
Swear. That's so, because I was thinking
That's so
about
funny.
it, how my guitar player who was playing the gig with me, he just gets my style so well, and we go really well together, and I was like, honestly, that's the best guitar player I've ever met. So like for me right now, he's the best guitar player in the world.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the idea of having that full talent yourself
Right there.
is cool.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Another question, non-music related.
Okay.
If you could have a dream home, it's a second home, so there's just like vacation home.
So I'm
dream
rich.
home anywhere in the world.
Hawaii.
Where would it be? Hawaii.
Yeah. I know, like, I feel like that's kind of basic answer, but
I mean,
I've been to Hawaii a couple times, and I'm automatically my most like zen, like happiest state of me. So yeah, Hawaii. No
I've
question.
always wanted to go to Hawaii.
You should.
We did not do you know where we
didn't.
went? No. You know where, because it was Fox, it wasn't ABC.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know where we went that was extra special and
What?
different? That Detroit in the winter.
What the heck is in Detroit?
It was literally a degree outside.
That's horrible.
A single degree outside.
That's horrible.
And the B-roll they had us doing was playing in the snow. We our faces were blood red, freezing.
Yeah, it's not cute.
And then I watched you guys, and you're in freaking Hawaii.
On the boat, I swear, it really was vacation. Like, it was just a vacation. I didn't even feel like I was working once. Like, it was, I mean, yes, I did. But for the most part, it was awesome.
Who were your closest friends on the show?
So, Sage, from the beginning, I met her in auditions. Actually, there's these competitions, like Young Arts competition and Spotlight competition that like high schoolers do. And you send in videos of you singing, and like you get ranked or whatever, and there's different rounds. And it's it's like national.
Okay.
And I was doing one of those competitions for my resume, classic college stuff.
Sure.
And I saw her, she won, like the jazz competition like 2 years prior. And I saw her, and I heard her talking about like something, and I was like, can I ask you a question? Like, did you win a Spotlight like award or whatever? And she was like, yeah, I did. And I said, I remember you, and now we're gonna be friends.
Yeah.
And from that minute, we were like very close, hung out all the time for that round. And then I saw her back in Hollywood Week, and that's when I became really close with Emerson.
Oh, cool.
Because Emerson was a minor with me, and the minors are, I know you don't know, but the minors are kept like very separate. Like
really?
it
We
kind
had a
of
minor on our season, but it wasn't. She wasn't separate. It was Tiana Jones was her name, and it was Tiana and her mom. I've been with her all the time.
Right.
But her mom was more like one of the contestants rather than separate.
Totally.
So they kind of keep you guys separate.
So like the moms became the moms of the group because there were a good three of us left for the top 24. So when the moms were there, they were like the moms for everybody, but we had to have school. on set and all that stuff, and like we couldn't film more than 10 hours a day. So if we ever went over, we would be kept to the side, or like if we ever had free time, oh, you got to go to school. So it was kind of, it was a little, it sucked a little because I didn't get to bond with everyone as well as I would have.
Right.
But yeah, I was really close to Sage, and I became close with Allegra and Cameron.
Allegra's so good.
She's so good. I actually just watched,
so good.
she performed at the Hotel
I know,
Cafe.
I missed her by a day.
Yeah, you missed it.
Because I'm talking to, I don't think it isn't announced yet, but Emerson and Allegra both are going to do Idol Hometown
Good.
shows.
I convinced Emerson. I said, you got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
We've been talking to try to find a venue and everything and lock it down.
Totally.
And then
that's awesome.
I'm excited to go to Florida too with
For
Allegra.
sure. Oh yeah, because she's here but also not completely.
Yeah, so we're gonna do it like in our hometown. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think one thing, and I said this in the last interview with Sage, and I say it all the time, maybe the number one misconception, or that doesn't quite translate to the audience at home, is how genuinely close and how familial of a bond the bond with contestants really is. It's not this like fake congeniality type.
It's not.
Oh yeah, we're all friends, and secretly you just want them to go home and you're competing. It's not like that. It's really not. We would joke like, we're not on a competition. This is camp. Like, this is singing camp. That's
all the
exactly
time.
what it feels like.
All the time we would joke about that, just because everybody. First of all, everyone has their own style. Everyone has their own thing in the show that makes them special, and so there's no compete. Like, you're not going to compete with someone who's a country singer when I'm like a soul whatever type of singer,
Point.
So why would you even want there is no competition, really.
That's a good point.
It's competition with yourself,
especially at near the end, like top 24 even.
Yeah,
the judges and producers have narrowed the contestants down so well where there isn't very many duplicates,
right?
And so also it happens to be where you get the tightest. So that's a great point. Really, I never thought of that way.
Like, before I got booted, we were staying in LA at the hotel that everyone stays at and going to CBS Studios for like 2.5 to 3 weeks. So before anything got aired, before we knew anything. So during those weeks and Hawaii, like the whole week of Hawaii, I became so close with everyone. I didn't talk to Cameron once before Hawaii, and in Hawaii we became friends, and now we FaceTime every single day.
Do you
really? We really do. And I never thought that we'd be friends, because he's just, I don't know, we just never crossed paths, and then after Hawaii we clicked and we became best friends. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I am still not convinced that Cameron and Ava were or are just friends.
They were.
That's what I hear.
I can vouch for it.
I talked to her. I was like, so.
Be honest.
Come on. And she's like, no, 100%. I was like, I don't believe you.
I know.
And everyone I talked to, they're like,
I didn't believe it.
Friends.
I didn't believe it. Are you kidding? All of us didn't believe it.
Someone wants to be with the other person, the other person doesn't want to be with them.
I mean,
that's you can't be two attractive people that get along so well.
Yeah. Better that.
And like there was a scene of her like
I know what you're talking about.
Like laying on his chest. I was like,
well, definitely this show played that. I mean, it happened. That was not set up. That was definitely B-roll. Like, that was taken from like way behind the camera. But
totally.
But they were just friends, and it was like a cute brother-sister friendship in the end. But I know.
Whatever.
I'm not gonna out anyone like right here. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, you could. But.
Yeah.
Okay, another hypothetical.
Yeah.
More of a music one. If you could only listen to one album for the rest of your life.
That's so hard.
What album? And if you have a couple that just come to mind, I'm just curious.
Yeah. Well, it's so interesting because I don't always listen to the music that I sing.
Totally.
So
I get that.
One of the first one that comes to my head would be Miss Lauryn Hill's her album. Like, I could listen to that on repeat. The
education thing?
Yeah. I don't know names of any albums, but that is the album.
That one,
every song I can listen to over and over again. So that would be one of them. Song in the Key of Life.
Yeah, Songs in the Key of Life.
Thank you, Stevie Wonder. That song. I mean, I've been listening to that album like since I was born. So that one too.
That's usually my answer.
Yeah.
Is that one because it's huge.
It's huge. There's like a trillion songs.
And
yeah.
Brilliant. I think Stevie Wonder is the greatest singer-songwriter of all time.
Well,
in my opinion.
I could agree with you on that.
It's a tough. I mean, you've got a lot of
there's
competition,
a lot.
but I give it to him.
Yeah,
okay, who else?
for
What
sure.
else?
And then I listen to a lot of J. Cole. He's like my favorite rapper because he has a lot of like versatility in his type of music, his like albums that come out.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could choose one actually, but one of those would be.
If you wanted to introduce J. Cole to somebody, what would you tell them to listen to? Album or a song?
I would tell them to listen to Work Out, because that's like one of his classics that if you're gonna listen to him, it's like a listenable one that everyone will like.
Okay.
And then
is that a song or album?
It's a song.
Okay. And
then, dang, you're really putting me on the spot. So you don't even know how bad I am at this.
Because low-key, I don't know anything of J. Cole.
Right.
And so this question's really for me.
Well, then I'll let you know later.
All right. Yeah,
something in my throat. One more song.
Yeah.
Born Sinners. I mean, that's also an album. So that album's really good, but specifically that song.
Born Sinners.
Born Sinners by J. Cole.
Aren't we all? Gotta preach.
For real.
Was there anybody on the show while you're going through that you felt really close to on the production side? So any producers or camera people, like talent handlers, like anybody?
Well, I did get really close with Morgan, who was like head of PA. I met her in auditions. She was so funny. Like I loved her. And so she came with us throughout the whole entire time. So I was kind of stuck with her a little bit. She was kind of like a sister on the show. Nice. And then Patrick. I mean, Patrick's he's just the bomb. Like, I love him. I actually like texted him the other day saying how I missed him, and I was just talking about like what I was doing. He was like, you should hop on like a Zoom later. So like later this month, he's like, we'll get on a Zoom and we'll say hi to everyone and catch you up on your life. So I thought that was really cool because you expect to like no one to give a crap about you when you're done. You know what I mean? And that is how most of them are, which is fine. It's a TV show. You come and go.
It's work.
Right. It's work. But he really like totally said that to me, and I didn't even bring it up. So it was really sweet.
He is very relational.
He is.
For those of you who don't know, Patrick Lynn is he's been on the show since day one. He is at first a terrifying figure.
Yes.
Who is very angry, cusses all the time, and yells on what you should be doing and where you should be. He's got tattoos. He vapes.
Yeah.
At least he vapes. Does he still vape? He
of
vapes.
course.
He vapes.
He vapes. Hella.
Which is super intimidating. Not necessarily. but
he's so soft inside.
Then you get to know him, and it's a little bit longer, and he doesn't have to rally like 200 contestants at once. Mm-hmm. And gets people. Also, as you go on, typically the top 24 aren't just great singers and performers, but they're cool people, and there's not a lot of egos that usually gets out quick. And then he relaxes, and then you learn. I don't know if you ever learned, but did you learn about his cats?
Of course, I've seen.
I've
seen pictures of his cats.
You learn about his cats and how deeply he loves them. And this like tatted up, angry, foul mouth, like yelling producer guy. Yeah. You talk about his cats, and he just gets so soft and buttery. Really true. One time, I'll say this. I hope he doesn't get angry at me for this. He might. Well, he might. It's okay. One time, I was next to him on a plane, and he had, you know those cameras that you can like see your dogs through, like
like a ring.
And then you can like talk to them and like give them treats and all that stuff,
give
like
them
through
treats.
the app. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like there's a treat thing, and it'll shoot out little treats like when you tap the screen.
No offense, but how long ago was this?
This was 7 years ago.
Oh, fine.
7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, okay. That's high tech.
And very high tech. And so I was next to him on the plane, and he was like, on the phone, on this app, and he's, I don't remember the kitten's name, or cat's name, but say it's Mittens, because that sounds right.
Totally, yeah.
He's like, Mittens, Daddy's coming home soon. And it was like,
that's the cutest thing
and
ever.
I was like, this dude is like the foulest.
Yeah.
Like I said, tatted up, scary
every other
dude.
word.
And then he's on the phone, like when he's more comfortable with you, and he is the man. I've talked to him several times, this year.
Yeah.
And he does keep up with everyone.
He does.
And really deeply cherishes those relationships.
It's so true. And there was like a time on the show where I was really, really stressed before a show and my voice was completely gone. Also, my vocal coaches were like my best friends, Justin and India. I'm such a fan I couldn't have. I'm obsessed with her. She's the coolest person ever. But yeah, so I became really close with them too. And Nick, who I only had for like one round, but we vibed really well together. But yeah, I was really stressed, and I knew that like my voice wasn't it, and I was really nervous. This was before Hawaii. And he came to me and he totally calmed me down. He was like, it's gonna be all right. This happens to everybody. Like, you're not the first one. And he just like really cared and like took time out of his like busy schedule, busy life of everyone in his ear, like telling him to do 15 million things. And he was just there for me to calm me down for a little bit. And that it meant a lot.
And that's what he cares about the most in his job. Do you need to go? Go. Thank you for... I appreciate it. Thank you for waiting.
He's really good at cuts.
I do a lot of cuts. I won't in these interviews, except the coffee fit mosquito fight thing. And in this moment, but her license plate, the badass AF.
Yeah, my mom says, girls 4, boys 0, game over, because she has 4 girls, and she's like, that's enough for me.
That's funny. Wait for it.
You look way tanner in person than you do in that video.
I look tanner?
Tanner in person than in that.
Then in the screen? I looked at that screen too. I'm like, I guess Danielle's interviewing with Casper the Friendly Ghost. Like,
it's not what you look like.
Thank you.
What the heck? I think I look orange. Okay, it's fine.
No, whatever. It is what it is.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I had a question now. I forgot. Hypothetical. One thing I wanted to know. I'm always super curious about during the show, were you made aware, and if so, when were you made aware of the review videos that I was doing? Did you watch them, and did that affect you positively, negatively, neutral? Mm-hmm. Like, what was your relationship with the videos, the Idol breakdown videos that I was doing while you were on?
So, I always knew your name. I saw your Yeba duet, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like her biggest fan, so I was like, dang, that's really freaking cool. But, so I knew your name, and then I think someone sent like your first video of the first auditions to our Top 24 group chat on Instagram. And they were like, guys, like, watch this. So I watched the first one, and then I like agreed with probably 99% of the things that you said. So I was like, okay, I'm obviously gonna watch him, and I'm obviously gonna see what he has to say about me. And then I just watched every one of your videos. Even some of them were mine, and a lot of them I wasn't in. A lot of them, like if Emerson was on, or if just someone that I saw a performance that I like wanted to see what you thought about it, I would watch them. And I mean, like for example, when we were talking about my Evergreen performance that got like a little bit shown of it, before I watched your thing, I knew it wasn't my best one, and I knew that like it wasn't how I wanted it to be exactly, and like what all the responses that you gave matched up with how I felt. So I never felt anything negative towards like anything you said. I would definitely tell you if I did, but I didn't, because I agreed with you, and I thought like it was really good constructive criticism that I got. And in addition to that, because I respect your opinion so much, when you said something that like was highlighting something that I did specifically in my songs, I like appreciated it, and it was a really big boost of confidence. I'm someone who, if you're like same level as me, or if I know you that like really well and I don't agree with your opinion, then like it's not gonna put me down. Like the haters gonna hate, you know, but it doesn't affect me at all. Yeah. But when someone who I like respect, who knows music really well, has any sort of thing to say about it, I really like take it to heart. So
yeah, well, good.
I appreciate your videos a lot.
Oh, thanks.
I think they really do help every contestant, even if they don't want to admit it, even if they hate what you said and they're angry and whatever, like they're gonna go back and they're gonna think about it, and that's, I guess, what matters. So
yeah, well, that's encouraging. I'm often faced with two passions and like life goals that kind of conflict sometimes. So with the video, the goal being accurate, honest, entertaining, good, but again, honest and accurate critique and review from my perspective of someone who's on Idol. And then my other passion of loving people and helping people and never wanting to hurt anyone.
Right.
And that sometimes, like, not this past season, not your season, but the season before, someone told me, they're like, hey, by the way, there's a contestant that you're making cry. Like, they watched your video and they were weeping.
Dang. Oh.
And I was like, who? Please tell me so I can, like, reach out to him.
Right.
And they're like, nah, she told me not to tell anybody.
But just so you know.
And I was like, I respect that gummit.
Dang.
But it wrecked me because
Totally.
I'm conflicted because I have to make, and that's why typically my, the thing I say first is don't watch them. Like for anybody, like my go-to like baseline advice as far as critiques and stuff is don't watch them. And the people who really can, like you, know that advice not to watch isn't for them.
Right, exactly.
And the people that it might be for, hopefully they heed that.
Right.
But we had there was a video that we all watched religiously, all the contestants. It was a review video.
Oh, really?
It was Melinda Doolittle. And, oh man, I can't think of the other guy's name. It's kind of his baby, I think, is what it seemed. And I don't think he was musical at all. Melinda Doolittle is a monster singer. You know her. But I don't think he was. And he had a couple things sometimes that he would say. I'm like, you're an idiot. That is not. Like one time I felt so good about my performance. And I was very proud of it. And then another contestant did a performance that I thought was like really corny.
Right.
It was movie week.
Totally. Oh.
And he was like, best performance of the night, no question, so and so. And it was that corny song, and I felt really good about mine. I'm like, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
So I always want to know.
Yeah.
The disagreements because I say all the time, I'll even like say what I think, and then I'll edit them, and while I'm editing, I disagree already with what I said. I'm like, I got it wrong. I was wrong.
And then you would take it out.
Maybe, or if that was the only thing I had to say about them, I had to leave it in.
Right,
and
totally.
so I know there's things that I say that aren't necessarily accurate.
Yeah, but I think also, occasionally there's something that like people will disagree with, but I think for the most part, like it's hard to hear any sort of thing negative like be said about you. Is that even English? But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, totally. Said about you, especially when you're in a competition where like you're constantly being like judged by everyone. That's the whole point. Like you can't go into the practice room and sing a version of your song without like crapping yourself because you're like they're probably gonna hate it like right away. Like something you kind of said that last night. Like there were a couple times where I really wanted to sing a song, and they were like, it's not gonna get you anywhere, and I believed that it probably would, and so like. It's a hard balance between like listening to people and listening to your gut and like knowing who's right and stuff. But yeah, I think because the reason why like I really enjoyed your videos was because like musically, I think we align in a lot of ways, like stylistically and stuff.
For sure.
So like when you'd be like, that was my favorite performance because it was so whatever. Like groovy or jazzy or not jazzy because we hate that. We don't like to use the word jazzy. I got you. But whatever, like that, I'd be like, dang, you're right, totally. So, yeah. That's my take on your videos.
Well, great. I'm glad. One last question. So we are on the Idol Hometown Tour. This is show number 2. You tell me a little bit about it. You've got a full band set up. What are you going to be doing tonight? And how do you feel just generally about the show tonight?
I'm very excited.
Great.
I love live performing. I kind of like made this set list mixed with originals and covers.
Great.
I do have a good amount of originals, but I'm not ready to. They're not like full band ready yet. So I'm singing like 3 or 4 of my originals, and then the rest of them, it's kind of like a set list of all my favorite songs / styles like
Love
kind
it.
of put into one. It's like it's like Danielle's playlist of her life, kind
I
of.
love that.
So in an hour. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it. I also like the venue. The Hotel Cafe is
Best.
so chill, and like you don't have to. It's not pressure, and I think sometimes like I'm not used to that. Singing banger songs and like songs that are super upbeat that are gonna get people like jumping up and down. Which I've learned kind of how to mix that into my sets, but at the same time, it's like more in my comfort zone. How this set is like, how it is.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get silky and smooth everyone instead of having everyone like jumping up and
That
down.
gets me so excited
Yeah.
because on the show, they're constantly like, "Come on, guys, up tempo!
Yeah.
Like, what can we do up tempo?" And you're like,
Totally.
oh, what up?
Half the songs tonight, I was like, dang. I was like, these are the songs I'm gonna sing on the show, and then they just one by
Yeah,
one
just
cut
like-
them out. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And my upcoming songs were also like, the songs that I was preparing for the next rounds were like my favorite ones. So
I can't wait.
yeah, I'm really excited.
Well, thank you so much
Yes,
for
of
coming by
course.
and doing this. It's
I love
great
it.
to meet you.
Thank you.
I'm happy we get to do this, and I'm really hyped to
Me
hear
too.
you in like your full, unfiltered, like whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Like in your element.
I feel like on Idol, I felt like I had one more thing to give, and so like at least someone who's kind of related to Idol now, you're here and you're gonna see it. So I feel like that will be like the chapter.
Oh, good.
You're closing my chapter, my Idol chapter.
Good. I love it.
Yeah,
Closing
totally.
the chapter.
Closing the chapter.
Soft and sincere, just like nostalgia. Just something about you